The City, a presentation by Ronald F. Appilato in the subject Local Government and Administration. What is a city? According to the Local Government Code of the Philippines, a city is defined as a political and corporate entity that serves as a territorial and political subdivision of the national government. Role of the city, Section 448 of the Local Government Code of the Philippines. The city, consisting of more urbanized and developed barangays, serves as a general-purpose government for the coordination and delivery of basic, regular, and direct services and effective governance of the inhabitants within its territorial jurisdiction. Roles and functions of the city government, local autonomy and governance. A city, like other LGUs, enjoys local autonomy. It exercises legislative and executive functions through its local officials to govern, enforce laws, and promote the welfare of its residents. Economic development. Cities play a key role in promoting local economic growth by encouraging business, trade, and investment. They are tasked with creating a favorable business environment, granting business permits and licenses, and promoting industries such as manufacturing, services, and tourism to generate employment and revenue. Taxation and revenue generation. The city has the authority to levy and collect taxes, fees, and charges to generate revenue. These include real property taxes, business taxes, and other fees that support its operations and development programs. Highly urbanized and independent component cities have more fiscal autonomy in this regard. Legislation. The city's Sangguniang Panglungsod serves as its legislative body, responsible for enacting ordinances, resolutions, and policies that address the needs and concerns of the local community. These laws cover areas such as public order, land use, and public services.
Planning and zoning. City governments are responsible for urban planning and land use regulation to ensure organized growth and development. This involves preparing a comprehensive land use plan, CLUP, and implementing zoning ordinances to balance economic development, environmental sustainability, and the quality of life for residents.
Representation. Cities represent their constituents at the national level through their elected representatives who advocate for local issues and policies at the national level.
Service delivery. The city is responsible for delivering basic services to its inhabitants. This includes services related to health, public hospitals and AMP, health centers, education, local schools and AMP, scholarship, social welfare, support for disadvantaged groups, public works, infrastructure development and AMP, maintenance, environmental protection, waste management, parks and recreational areas, and public safety, the police and disaster risk management.
Creation of the City, Section 449 of the Local Government Code of the Philippines. Manner of creation. A city may be created, divided, merged, abolished, or its boundaries substantially altered, only by an act of Congress subject to approval by a majority of the votes cast in a plebiscite to be conducted by the COMELEC in the LGUs directly affected.
Converting into a city. A municipality or a cluster of barangays may be converted into a city if it has an average annual income of at least 100 million.00 in the last 2 consecutive years, based on 2000 constant prices, a population of at least 150,000 inhabitants, and a contiguous territory of 100 square kilometers.
Why convert? Municipalities aspire for cityhood mainly for the effectual changes in their fiscal status. According to Capuno, 2013, there seems to be an inequity in the distribution of the Internal Revenue Allotment, IRA, the country's most important fiscal transfer program, vis-a-vis to the burden of the devolved functions of LGUs. Under the Local Government Code, the IRA apportioned 20% to provinces, 23% to cities, 34% to municipalities, and 20% to barangays. Cities have much bigger revenues than municipalities and can spend more on essential services than municipalities. It is observed that health and education, which are vital indicators of development, are overlooked and not prioritized as much at the municipal level. Cities, on the other hand, are able to fully operationalize their functions given their resources. Requisites for creation. The creation or conversion of a municipality or cluster of barangays into a city in the Philippines is governed by Section 450 of the Local Government Code of the Philippines. 1. Income requirement. The locality must have an average annual income of at least P100 million. Based on 1991 constant prices, as certified by the Department of Finance. This income should locally generated sources, such as taxes, fees, and other revenues, excluding national government allocations. Case, Municipality of Malabon v. Commission on Elections, Gr. No. 195,097, July 10, 2013. 2. Population requirement. The locality must have a population of at least 150,000 inhabitants. As certified by the Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA. Case, Municipality of San Jose del Monte, Bulacan v. Commission on Elections, Gr. No. 195,098, July 10, 2013. 3. Land area requirement. The locality must have a contiguous territory of at least 100 square kilometers. As certified by the Land Management Bureau. However, this requirement does not apply if the area is already highly urbanized or land availability is constrained due to geographic features such as islands or mountainous terrain. Case 1. Municipality of La Trinidad, Benguet, ongoing legal proceedings. 2. League of Cities of the Philippines v. Municipality of Tayabas, Quezon, Gr. No. 177,499, March 2, 2010. Classification of cities. Sections 451, 452, and 453 of the Local Government Code of the Philippines refers to the classification of cities in the Philippines. Classifications are based on the following criteria. Highly urbanized cities, HUCs, the population must have a minimum of 200,000 inhabitants as certified by PSA and must have a latest income of PHP 50 million. Based on 2000 constant prices. As certified by the city treasurer. HUCs are considered the most developed cities in the country. They have a higher level of economic activity, infrastructure, and services. They often serve as regional centers and hubs for commerce, industry, and education. 2. Component cities. Cities that are not classified as HUCs but are part of a metropolitan area. Component cities are determined by the National Economic and Development Authority, NEDA, based on factors like population, economic activity, and infrastructure. Component cities often share resources and services with the main city of the metropolitan area. While they may not have the same level of development as HUCs, they benefit from their proximity and integration into the larger urban area.
3. Independent cities that are not part of any province, typically have a significant population, economic base, and administrative capacity to function independently. It prohibits their voters from voting for provincial elective officials. Independent cities have a higher degree of autonomy compared to cities that are part of provinces. Note, the classification of cities can change over time based on population growth, economic development, and other factors. Cities may transition from one category to another as they meet the required criteria. City officials in General Section 454 of the Local Government Code of the Philippines. Officials and offices common to all cities. Title III, the City Chapter 3 of the Local Government Code of the Philippines. The city mayor, chief executive of the city, responsible for enforcing laws and ordinances, managing city operations, and implementing programs and projects, exercises general supervision over the activities of the city's various departments and offices, prepares the city's annual budget and submits it to the Sangguniang Panglangsod for approval, exercise other powers and perform other duties and functions as may be prescribed by law or ordinance.
2. The city vice mayor presiding officer of the Sangguniang Panglangsod acts as city's chief legislator, ensuring that all ordinances and resolutions are debated and approved by the city council. Assumes the role of city mayor in cases of vacancy or incapacity. Exercise other powers and perform other duties and functions as may be prescribed by law or ordinance. 3. The Sangguniang Panglangsod composition. The vice mayor is presiding officer. The regular Sangguniang members. The president of the city chapter of the Liga ng Mga Barangay. The president of the Panglangsod na Pederasayan ng Mga Sangguniang Kabataan. And the sectoral representatives. As members, sectoral representatives. 1 from the women. 1 from the agricultural or industrial workers. And 1 from either the urban poor, indigenous people, or disabled persons. Legislative body of the city responsible for crafting laws, ordinances, and resolutions that govern the city, approves the city's budget and other financial proposals submitted by the mayor, oversees the proper implementation of local laws, programs, and projects, exercise other powers and perform other duties and functions as may be prescribed by law or ordinance. Modeling City, Good Practices in Local Governance. 2022 Seal of Excellence Awardees.
マロロスシティ、ブラカン、ザシティハズコンサイステントリーエクセルイングッドガバナンス、パーティキュラーリーインファイナンシャルマネジメント、トランスパレンシー、アカウンタビリティ。サンフェルナンドシティ、パンパンガ、レコニズドフォー ITS イノベーティブプログラムス&エフィシェントデリバリーオブベーシックサービス to ITS コンスティキュエンツ。
These are just few examples of model cities in the Philippines that have demonstrated exemplary governance practices. References: Department of the Interior and Local Government, DILG, website, www.dilg.gov.ph, Philippine Center for Good Governance, PCGG.
Thank you, have a nice day.